Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today we're going to continue talking about industry topics. So as I mentioned in my last industry topic video done with Bronson Vida, we were talking about the future of fashion shows because of the Vogue Global Conversations. So they've done 4 conversations. The first one was on creativity, the second was fashion shows, the third was e-commerce, and the last was brick and mortar. And I wanted to take this opportunity to talk directly to you about brick and mortar because that's where my background kind of lies. I know that I've never done a quick overview of my resume with you all, so now today, talking about the future of brick and mortar. All right. This is tricky because obviously there's so many different ways that brick and mortar can be seen, in my opinion. But if we're looking at it through the lens of fashion, traditionally brick and mortar is a place where you show the collections that are available for sale so people can come in and buy them. Pretty straightforward stuff. You might have other reasons that people open retail stores, but by and large it's to show people things that they can buy so you can have enough money to keep the lights open and to continue to curate that environment. And you know, obviously being a retailer, you have a lot of expressive opportunities in terms of the brands that you carry. If you are a retailer that carries multiple brands, the types of products that you carry, so on and so forth. So the business of retail is one thing, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how retail as a whole has its place very well cemented in the world that we see moving forward after this COVID-19 pandemic. With this pandemic, what has happened is that obviously none of us are able to go and have those experiences in store. We are locked at home, we are not allowed to go out and interact with other people, which has obviously impacted business for brick and mortar stores. And what this means is that people have now become more comfortable either browsing online or shopping online because that is their only way of consuming. So because of that, this raised level of confidence in buying things online is kind of threatening to the retail experience once we're out of quarantine. Because people are more confident buying things that they've either maybe never have seen before, never have touched, don't know how they fit, that influences how people go in and shop in the stores. So obviously the advantage of having a physical location is that people can go in and physically feel and touch how the garment is on their hand as well as how it lays on their bodies. So you miss that from the digital experience. But what the digital experience offers is the convenience, and if they have nice shipping and return policies, then you're able to try it on at home and send it back if you don't like it. So could be very low risk. So where retailers have to pick up the slack is offering something that online can't. Number one, it's the human component. People need to be connected to one another. We are social beings. We are not able to survive completely in isolation. So having that human component is really key to the retail experience. You know, we're also familiar with retail therapy. People enjoy the act of physically walking into a store and having that leisure experience of just being able to be inspired by their surroundings and also go either individually solo or go with friends, making it another social experience. So all of these different things play into the social interaction component of the retail space. So human interaction, that's kind of thing one. The evolution of that is what actually happens in that space. So again, traditionally people would open retail stores to sell things, and if that's originally the goal for a brick and mortar, that's fine. But now that we're seeing tech's influence in consumers' buying habits, that is going to impact how people interact with retailers. So instead of originally just staying true with the vision of we sell things in these 4 walls, that's only clothing and that's what it's going to be. So there is a huge opportunity to make retail a place where people gather, they can socialize by bringing the community together and having it be this really positive emotional experience. So instead of seeing it be these 4 walls house clothes, it can be these 4 walls bring people with this aesthetic together. That's where the value is. When you have people with a shared interest or a shared aesthetic come together in a space, then the opportunity gets presented to the retailer as to how they continue to add value to those people's lives, because they already have the understanding with the product, the aesthetic, what have you, the curation. So how do you continue that conversation? How are you going to continue to add value to those people's lives, given the fact that fashion is not necessarily about need, it's about want? So how do you not only cater to the superfluous needs, or desires rather, that we want as, I guess, affluent people, anyone who has a disposable income that's large enough for you to buy something that you don't necessarily need, how do you continue to add value to their lives that kind of also promote sustainability by not over-consuming, by not buying things that you don't absolutely need, but buying more responsibly and being responsible with waste management as well? So to carry on that conversation of like, okay, we want you to only buy the essentials, and after you have that, whether it be an essential dress for a very specific function to your everyday wear, what comes after that? What happens after you have the clothes on? And that's where this community component is so key. So instead of seeing retail as just a place to sell clothes, it's a place to bring people together that you add value through a myriad of different types of experiences. So that can be from events to hosting, panel discussions, or doubling the space as a place where you can record podcast episodes or making your own content. You can also, depending on where your store is physically located and the laws and permits that you're able to acquire, you could potentially open something that caters to a very specific need, like caffeine addictions. I know so many different stores are starting to integrate coffee as a component of their offering because they know that that is a pillar of stability within their business, because people who walk by that store frequently for work or leisurely can come in and know that they are going to get their cup of coffee. So if you can deliver them something that they already need and go out of their way for in your physical environment, then that's a value add. Again, also through the scope of like bringing community of a specific type together, you're gonna bring in new people as well. So you're growing your community. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna eat it in this video. I just know it. Either that or I'm gonna kill it. And you guys will all be watching. Great. Let's do it. Okay, back to the point. Diversifying what your offering is from just being selling clothes, your physical products, to also selling services and experience. So those are really the two main pieces that I wanted to add into this conversation of the future of brick and mortar stores. There's a lot of subtopics that can get brought up too, like sustainability being one of them. There's so many different things that retail touches that there's room for improvement in. But in terms of just having the brick, the mortar, the four walls, the floor, the ceiling, that's really where it lies. It's how do you continue to add value to your community, how do you build up that community, and how you stay relevant by pivoting and changing and adapting to the times. Because as a species, you either adapt or you kind of fail and you sink. It's sink or swim, man. So you gotta adapt to the times and change with it. And people want more from their retail experience than just being sold something that they don't really need. So find something that you can deliver to them that adds value to their life, that they then identify as a need, that creates a stronger bond with you and your customer, and makes everyone happy. They're happy, they're getting something that adds value to their life, and you're getting the money from transactions in some way, shape, or form that keeps your lights on so you can do it all again the next day. Okay, so I remember the last thing that I wanted to talk about was kind of piggybacking off of the physical experience of having people in a space. So now if you're looking at it from a business perspective, I have, if I'm a business owner, I have employees who are running the operations of the day-to-day in the store. And those people are going to be more important now than ever. Because, it's not just a matter of having a lot of bodies in the store to maximize number of sales. I think it really needs to be about the quality of the employee that you hire. This is nothing new. You obviously want to hire the best that you have available to you and have them be advocates for your cause, your store, your brand. But it goes a step beyond that. If I'm, again, a business owner, I'm not just gonna hire a sales associate to just sell. I'm gonna want them to be, ambassadors of the brand. I want them to talk about it on their social media. I want them to make content in store with their iPhones and share it, whether it be on social media, or maybe they organize photo shoots, obviously with my permission, to create content that can, promote business elsewhere. Again, digital integration is huge. How can you leverage the capital that you have invested in your sales employees, or your employees generally speaking, to add more value in other ways? Taking out the trash without complaining, point for you. Helping fulfill orders, another point for you. All in addition to, supporting the business through sales. So that's just kind of one example, but I think that the individual employees will play a huge role in the success of retail moving forward. With that being said, I think that people should be seen as the kind of diverse entities that they are. We have a lot of different interests and are skilled at more than one thing. So even if you hire someone to be a sales associate, find out what their other passions and interests are, and especially if it's a fantastic hire, you're gonna want to keep them for as long as you can. And it's not a matter of meeting their, salary requests and their health benefit needs. It goes beyond that. How can you internally motivate them? And how you do that is by identifying what their true passions are and what really fulfills them. Maybe it's making videos. Okay, great. Like, let's do brand basic videos. Like, I'm gonna incorporate that into my business. Or let's say someone loves DJing. Great. Like, let's throw an event to launch this new thing and you'll DJ. Like, having different players play different parts within the business that they normally, that their title normally would restrict them of, I think will create a more harmonious environment, a happier environment, more fulfilled employees. And when you have a happy ecosystem like that, your customers feel it and your bottom line feels it too. So those are kind of the 3 pillars that I wanted to go over with you guys in terms of the future of brick and mortar and retail. There's so much more that we can talk about. So if you guys have questions about anything or want to continue the conversation with me down in the comments, you know where to go. I'll be there. I'll be hitting you right back. I'd love to talk with you more about your thoughts about where retail can go. I think that's enough talking for me today. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you back here next time.